The following podcast does have an explicit tag, and boy, have we earned the right to use it.
One, two, three into the four. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door.
You hit record? Cool.
I did.
And nothing fucking happened.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm sitting here playing Pokemon.
Oh my god, I don't fucking get to deal with this stupid fucking game. I just don't fucking get it. This is so stupid.
In all honesty, I wasn't planning on playing it. It's actually not available in Canada right now. Shh.
I don't even, I don't fucking care. This is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. I have no fucking interest. I don't give a shit.
Actually, oh, hey, there's no more Plane Engine there. Did you know that playing this game, some girl found a dead body?
I found a dead body. You actually froze up and I can't hear you. But yeah, she was like playing and like going and found a dead body. Like that's fucking
it's
nuts.
floating in the river. It's kind of weird.
Oh my god, that's so fucked up.
So, for those of you listening who are living under a rock, we are talking about the recent release of the virtual reality game Pokemon Go. It is highly addictive and dangerous, and let me tell you, I might be single because of it. No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, that's possible.
It will lead you to dead bodies.
It will. Apparently, it will. No, it's led to some interesting pictures on the internet. That's been hilarious. Somebody got a picture of a Diglett popping out of a toilet. A friend of mine got a gas leak coming out of a guy's ass. That's always fun. I'm not sure if that's innuendo there or not.
What the fuck kind of game are people playing? This is ridiculous.
It literally it's run through your GPS and your camera. Random Pokemon show up, and just like with the Game Boy games, you like throw Pokeballs and shit at them.
I never understood the whole Pokemon thing. I just never.
That's because your soul had died before it came out.
That's probably what it is. My soul was completely dead before it came out.
Jen was absolutely fucking dead inside.
I was completely dead inside when Pokemon became a thing.
So we're starting off on a bit of a lighter topic tonight because, in all honesty, we have a very, very deep, very
Jen's fucking pissed off. Jen's fucking angry, and Jen's fucking soul hurts.
That's a good way to put it. So, for those of you living under a rock who didn't even know about Pokemon Go, I can only assume that you haven't heard about Philando Castile and Alton Sterling.
Alton Sterling.
Yeah, the two black men who were killed in cold blood by police officers in the last, what has it been, 2 days? Yeah, in the last 48 hours. So we're going to cover that, and then at the end, I'm going to try lightening up the mood a bit. I've got another one of those creation moments things. It made Jen's eyes bleed, so that was awesome. I think that would be a great way to wrap up this obviously heavy-hearted show. So why don't we just kind of hop into it? Before we go down the rabbit hole that is this topic of the murders of Philando Castile and Alton Sterling, I just kind of wanted to weigh in on the bullshit that I keep seeing in regards to the hashtag Blue Lives Matter and the Blue Brotherhood honor bullshit. Rest assured, like, Jen's going to be dominating the majority of this segment. She's got a lot to say on it, and I want to step back and give her as much of the floor as possible. But before we dive headfirst into that, I just wanted to take a few minutes to kind of talk about some of the shit that I've been seeing on Facebook. So I have several friends in law enforcement. I have had family with careers in law enforcement. Most notably, my grandfather was a jail guard for several decades. So I just kind of want to lay the framework for who I remember him as being, so you can be the judge as to where my biases may be. I never heard him raise his voice, like, ever. My grandmother would threaten to blister my ass, but my grandfather would command attention and respect with just kind of a tilt of his head. It was just a look he would give. He was not a loud man, but his physical presence spoke for him. His words carried a weight behind them because they weren't the ravings of someone just desperate to speak, to get their opinion out there. And he often got the last word, not because he wouldn't shut up, but because after he spoke, there were very few things that were left to be said. The unique thing about my grandfather, though, is that he had an opinion of some of his peers that you don't hear from other law enforcement people. I don't know. Anyways, and his opinion was this: many of them belonged behind bars more than the inmates they were charged with watching. He had no qualms about saying that. And I'd like to think that if he were still here to this day, he would be proclaiming great shame for the lack of accountability officers appear to hold each other to. And that's something we just don't see. At least it's not what we're hearing from the echo chamber. So instead, when I stroll through my Facebook wall, I see a collective of All Lives Matter, which is from people, wanting peace. And yeah, that's a noble goal and all that, but it falls short because it clearly isn't working. And I'm also seeing the Blue Lives Matter from those who are tied to the Brotherhood of Law Enforcement. From where I'm sitting, the ones doing the most damage are the Blue Lives Matter crowd. You see, nobody is sitting here saying that cops' lives don't matter. In fact, as a society, we say the opposite. We rely on officers to be examples of moral excellence and to stand in situations where a civilian could be killed. We ask those who protect us to lay their lives on the line. And I don't think anyone who takes half a second to think about what is in the job description for a police officer is going to be ignorant to that fact, not with a proper critical thought. We respect that this job requires you to basically put your life in danger perpetually. But what we don't respect is this need to step up and defend your brother just because you refuse to call him out. You refuse to acknowledge that within your ranks, racism, sexism, homophobia, and all other sorts of human biases run unchallenged. We see it on TV all the time. Cops refusing to turn to their partners on after doing something questionable because it goes against, the code, as it were. And I get it. That is TV. It is merely fiction, except it doesn't appear to be, not anymore. Now, a radio DJ's interview of a cop was posted to Facebook. I'm probably actually going to try sharing this to our Facebook when I release this episode. In this video, it was only about a minute long, he flat out called out the Blue Code of Honor. In this video, he pinpointed the fact that police officers have an inability to point out the flaws in their brethren. That is the problem with the Blue Lives Matter crowd. Not the want to keep your profession as safe as possible, but the fact that when those you stand beside are beyond reproach and you care more to defend them and isolate yourself from the issue than addressing that there is a clear problem within your ranks. If you want to stand up for police officers being decent human beings, then it is high time you started showing the public that you care enough to admit that there are those who stand beside you who should not be there. Instead of a fear of their partners turning their backs on them for standing up against a brother in blue, it should be a deep fear that your brothers will turn their backs on you for cold-blooded murder. And that's all I have to say about that.
Alright, Blue Lives Matter. Here's the fundamental fucking difference between Blue Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter. At the end of their shift, a police officer can take off what makes them blue and go back to their normal life, and they can, not be officer this and deputy that or whatever the fuck you have in your town. They could just be who the fuck they are. Black people cannot take off their skin for their convenience. Black people do not get downtime from being black. You could take off your uniform and no longer be a fucking target. Black people cannot take off their skin and remove that target from their backs. They can't. Is it fucked up when a good cop loses his life when he wasn't doing anything fucked up? Absolutely. And I'm not going to sit here and condone what happened in fucking Dallas. That's not the fucking answer. My heart hurts for the fucking men that lost their lives last night. And my heart hurts for their families. Because they weren't doing anything wrong.
They were doing their job.
They were out on their shift, doing their job. Trying to keep a peaceful protest when they were gunned down by a fucking sniper. I mean, this wasn't even like front-to-front combat. But I don't want to hear Blue Lives Matter when you can be blue on a shift. And you can be blue on your convenience. When you can approach a group of black men and not have to turn around and tell them you're a cop because you may be afraid of what they're going to do, but then pull out your policeman's association fucking card when you want to get out of a fucking ticket. Being black is not selective. Being a police officer is. Is it fucked up that people are gunning down cops? Absolutely, and I don't fucking condone that. But don't fucking sit here and try to compare systematic fucking oppression and systematic fucking racism to a uniform that you can remove, a job that you can quit. Black people cannot quit being black. Black people don't get vacation time from being black. Black people can't turn around and say, this version of my skin is dirty, let me take it off and wash it. No, it doesn't fucking happen. You do not get a break from being black. You get a break from being blue. So excuse me if I'm not sitting here getting the fucking Blue Lives Matter bullshit crammed down my fucking throat. Black people do not select to be black. Cops select to be cops. Period. Now, I don't even know where the fuck to begin, man. I don't. Because, I mean, you've had 2 black men in the last 48 hours that have died. We've got Alton Sterling, and why does this man's name escape me now?
Philando Castile?
Thank you. I don't know why I totally had a fucking brain fart. I'm sorry. Philando Castile. Sterling died before Castile did. Now everyone's talking about, the cell phone footage was shitty. Oh, look, he's reaching, and then we got into, he was a child molester, he was a convicted felon. Look. I'm not going to sit here and say that, judging by his record, he was a good man. I'm not. I'm not going to sit here and fucking praise that he was this high holy motherfucker, because he wasn't. He was fucked up. But that still, it still doesn't negate the fact that there was no reason to put 5 rounds in this fucking man's chest. None. There was no fucking reason. I don't give a shit what he did. There was no reason to put 5 rounds in this man's chest if he was truly committing a crime that he needed to be arrested and brought to justice. In a proper setting, in a courtroom setting. And if he violated his probation from the many crimes that he has committed in the past, then let him serve his time for that. Now, Philando Castile. This makes me fucking angry. This was a man who was held a job since he was 15 years old. He fed children of that community. That was his job. He was a nutritionist at a Montessori school. Montessori schools tend to be smaller. They tend to be more close-knit than traditional public schools would be. This man was a licensed concealed carry permit holder. The officer told him to get his ID out. He told the officer, which is what you're told in your CCW classes, if that you're pulled over, you're approached by the police, alert them that you are a licensed concealed carry permit holder, and if you have a weapon on you, to alert them so that the officer can come and remove the weapon from you. This way there is no kind of, he was pulling for a gun, I shot him. This way the officer can say, okay, where is your holster? I will take it. He told the officer, I am a CCW carry holder. I have a gun on me. I am reaching for my wallet. This guy pumped 4 fucking bullets into him. Into a car with a 4-year-old. With a 4-year-old in the back seat. He pumped 4 bullets into a vehicle with a toddler.
A toddler who's going to spend the rest of her life in therapy.
Because this is going to be one of her earliest memories, is her father dying in front of her. This man did nothing wrong. Okay, he had a busted taillight. What the fuck ever? It's a busted fucking taillight. Come on now.
Wait, that's not a death penalty offense in your
I
in your
break
state?
the law more downloading shit from YouTube than he did fucking driving around with a busted taillight.
I think I break more laws downloading my porn than I do driving with a
Exactly.
busted taillight.
They murdered this man in front of his daughter. And while he was lying there bleeding in front of his daughter and his girlfriend, he kept the gun pointed on him, screaming, I told him not to move, I told him, I told him, I told him. No, you didn't tell him, because that's not how a routine traffic stop goes. You sit there, I need your license and registration. Okay, officer, I am going to tell you now, I am a CCW permit holder and I am carrying a weapon. He was saying this as he was reaching for his wallet. Cop screaming, I told him not to move. So what'd you do, in a second and a fucking half, say don't move and shoot him? Is this what you fucking did? And the cop knows he fucked up because he's screaming, fuck, 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 fuck. Yeah, you fucked up. You then arrest and you then.
I don't think saying he fucked up did enough. Motherfucker, you fucked up in the one of the worst ways.
But then he tells his partner, take the female passenger out of the car. So he left this child in a vehicle alone with her father's body. I want to hear someone say white privilege does not exist. That's been pulled over before.
If I'm being honest, I've never had a problem with cops. I'd like to think it's because I have an award-winning personality, but let's face it, if 30 episodes in, I don't think that I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that's possible.
What am I hearing? And I'm not hearing NRA save our guns. Damn.
Oh fuck no! It's because he's black.
He was a law-abiding. He was the literal pinnacle of who exactly should be able to own a gun.
But you will not ever hear the NRA standing up for this because he was a black man.
Fuck the NRA, because the NRA is just as fucking political at this point as every other fucking organization that they claim not to be. So fuck the NRA.
The NRA should be biting. If they were who they claimed to be, they would be biting
they're nothing more than another fucking lobbyist group at this point. Excuse me.
I thought they were just another group of gun fetishists.
They play a heavy hand in the political sector of my country, of the United States. They really do. They really do play a heavy political hand. So I'm not even gonna fucking. I'm not gonna get in the fucking NRA because they're just completely fucking political to me. But this, even, and I'm not going to get into Alton Sterling. I'm going to get into Philando Castile, because this was literally the man that everyone turns around and says, this is your regular, everyday gun owner. And he was. He was.
He did everything exactly by the book.
Exactly. This man had been employed since he was 15. He fed children. Fuck, I don't even do it. The only kid I feed is mine.
Damn, you're doing better than me.
Shit, right? The only kid I feed is mine.
I feed a cat. Does that count?
Where's your fucking outrage that he was just carrying his weapon, and in Minnesota he's not even required to tell the cop that he's carrying, he's a CCW carrier. This was done as a courtesy.
And could you imagine if he hadn't?
But
and the cop shot him, and then it gets released? Oh.
But now I hear the same old argument. White privilege does not exist. I know white men that have driven drunk, and are belligerent fucking drunks at that have gotten pulled over by the police, and all they worry about is getting a ticket or going to jail for driving drunk. Going to jail for driving drunk. Not dying. And now I'm white. And I'm fucking white. I'm like blonde hair, green eyed. I'm fucking white.
You could have been Gestapo. You are so white.
Yeah. Oh yeah. With the color I dye my hair, I'm like the fucking German dream. Anyway, excuse me. I shouldn't say German dream. I'm sorry. I'm the Nazi German.
Yeah, he was a fucking Austrian. Come on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Bad slip on my part. But I fucking get the fact that white privilege exists. I get it. I
get it that I don't get it.
I don't understand it through the eyes of a black person because I'm not a black person in America.
That's just an experience you can never have.
It's an experience that I will never be able to have. Just like a fucking white man can't have the experience of being a white woman. You know, whatever. But I have had to watch from the outside in for my friends that are black and for my friends who do have black children and black male children about what they have to go through. And I know more than 2 handfuls of people that had to sit down with their sons and explain to them that if you are ever in trouble and need to call the police, make sure your hood is down, make sure your hands are up, and tell the cops you don't have a weapon.
Now,
if you never had to sit down
full
and
disclosure,
talk to your fucking child like that, that's white privilege. That is white privilege.
To have to coach your kids on how to speak to the police.
That is white privilege. If you have never had to sit your son down to explain to him that he has to immediately present himself as not a threat when he's a victim to the police to save his life, that is fucking white privilege. Not even deal with the police. Not even deal with the police. Say you are a victim of a crime. You are being assaulted. You have been robbed. Somebody is trying to kill you. A victim of a crime. We have to teach black children that if you are a victim of a crime, if you have been assaulted, robbed, somebody is trying to kill you, you have to call the police for help and then present yourself as non-threatening so that they don't kill you. If you've never had to sit down and speak to your son about this, you benefit from white privilege. If you have ever been pulled over and your immediate thought was, fuck, I'm getting a ticket, you benefit from white privilege. If you have never been pulled over before, looked in your mirror, and got nervous about the race of the officer, you have benefited from white privilege. I want to hear people that say, and I'm going to put this out here right now, you don't have to be a fucking millionaire to benefit from white privilege. All white privilege means is that you have a better opportunity of getting yourself up from the shitty ass fucking decisions that you've made in your life. You have more of an opportunity to recover from them.
Let's be fucking clear, because Jeff, I know you got into a huge Facebook argument with some idiot on your wall about this.
Yeah. I've gotten into a couple last couple of days, actually.
About the difference between the incidental and the societal was the gentleman saying he's never had a problem with cops.
The singularity versus the systematic.
But here's the fucked up thing that I found in that conversation is that he's black and he's sitting there saying, no, that doesn't exist. I've never experienced that problem.
He wasn't black. He was white. He was white. He was black.
But he said his brother and sister are black.
Yes.
Oh, adopted.
Yes.
Oh,
brother and sister are black. He's white. Yeah.
I made erroneous assumptions. My bad.
And that I am pushing big city ideals into small town living. Because white people in white towns, white small towns, their police officers don't have black people to go after.
Or they have one white person that they just follow.
You benefit from white privilege when you are harassed by the cops because there are no black people to go after.
I shouldn't laugh at that, but damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah, like, literally. You benefit from white privilege if you're the bum-ass motherfucking white man that gets fucking harassed by the cops because there's no fucking black people in your town.
I will admit, that
white
is a bit
privilege,
of a fucked up thing.
Yeah, okay, this was the exact fucking boiling point. And another one of my friends, I commented on it, and I love her to death, and she grew up in this very white small town in Wisconsin. And even she was like, no, White privilege is being told that the civil rights era made everything equal and you believe it.
Did you know that the word gullible isn't in the dictionary?
Word! I mean, that was it right then and there. White privilege is sitting there and being told that the civil rights movement made everything equal and nothing in your life shows you any different. And you believe it. You let me make this loud and fucking clear. You can be poor and you can be broke and still benefit from white privilege. White privilege is not I could be a millionaire over a black man, I am a millionaire over a black person. White privilege is when you and the black person grow up in the same poor ass neighborhood and grow up in the same fucking projects, you have a better opportunity of getting accepted into a higher degree of university and college than a black person. The black person
a higher degree of education.
Thank you. Than the black person sitting next to you does.
I word good.
You word good. You have a better opportunity. You have a better shot, even if say you come in ground level to a business with a black person. You have a higher probability of getting a promotion and earning more money than the same fucking black man that you started working with in the same fucking position. That is white privilege. That is white privilege. White privilege is the both of you were born in the same fucking poor ass neighborhood, but because you're white, you statistically have a better shot of being the 1% than a black man does. You have a better shot of lifting your children out of poverty than the black man that you grew up with. The black person. I shouldn't single out black men because this does affect black women too. And black women are doubly affected because not only are they black, but they're women. If you have never had to worry about your hairstyle being too ethnic for your job, you benefit from white privilege. Even if it's a fucking $7.50 an hour fucking construction job. If you never had to worry about your hair being deemed a safety hazard, you benefit from fucking white privilege.
What the fuck makes your hair a safety hazard?
Oh my god, anything could be considered too ethnic and a safety hazard. I'm not even kidding. There are black children in schools that are being sent home because their natural hair is too distracting.
Motherfucker, if you can't handle a child's hair, you should not be a teacher.
If your child can roll out of bed in the morning and not do their hair, and you don't have to worry about them being sent home for their hair being too distracting, you benefit from white privilege. Now here is a fucking question that I have to everyone who wants to talk about white privilege don't exist. Excuse me. Blue lives matter. All lives matter. How many of you would volunteer to wake up tomorrow and be black in America? How many? Says white privilege don't exist and it's all lives that matter.
Well,
how many of you would volunteer to wake up and be black in America tomorrow morning?
Well, I see what you're saying. I think the argument stands to reason that many of them would say, of course I would, because they don't see the problem.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. This has actually been asked to a white audience, and a white woman asked them, how many of you would volunteer to wake up and be black tomorrow morning? And not one person raised their hand. Because it's not that people don't fucking know. They know. They know, and they won't even volunteer to experience it because they know how shitty you are treated in this country being a black person. And they don't want to go through it. But because it doesn't affect their fucking bubble, white privilege doesn't exist. But not fucking one of them would stand up to volunteer to wake up black tomorrow. Not a fucking one. This is what we mean by systematic racism. I don't give a fuck if you made shitty ass fucking decisions and you're on food stamps being fucking white. I don't fucking care. Because there are programs in place and the system is stacked to help you. We are talking about systematic. We are talking about The fact that black men have a 7 to 21% higher chance of being killed by the police in America. Meanwhile, they only make up 13% of the fucking population. How black and Hispanics, black people make up 40% of the prison population despite being only 13% of the fucking population. And then I get fucking statistics like, oh, but they commit 50% of the crimes are committed by black people in the black neighborhood. Yeah.
Really? Look what fucking neighborhoods they live in. What fucking resources are allocated to those
exactly. People? You are coming into these lower income black communities with systematic fucking poverty. Systematic fucking poverty. Where black women make the least amount of money out of anyone in this country. In neighborhoods known for being single parents. Because a lot of the time, these men have no fucking guidance about how to be a father and how to be there. So they run. They have no fucking guidance on it. So you mean to tell me that you expect a woman, now what do they tell them? Stay at home, take care of your kids. But a black woman makes less than any other fucking person in this country. So she's got to work twice as fucking hard to put the same fucking necessities that a poor fucking white mother's gotta do, putting food on her fucking table. You can't get your children out of poverty if you can't fucking educate them. Black women have to work 2-3 times as fucking hard. Can't afford a fucking higher education for their kids. They have to send them to the fucking public schools that receive the least amount of funding because let's fucking be honest, nobody gives a fucking shit about educating black kids. Nobody fucking cares. You send them to public schools that receive the least amount of fucking funding. To where they don't have the fucking tools to obtain scholarships and everything else to get them the education they need to get out of the fucking hood. But yet here I am, white, blonde-haired, green-eyed, and I can walk into any motherfucking university, play the little fucking white girl card, I'm fucking in. I am fucking in. My face will be plastered on the fucking news because I'm the white fucking ideal of what they think the American fucking dream is. You know how many black kids get abducted and go missing every year in this country? More than fucking white children, but you wouldn't know that watching the fucking news. And I don't hear fucking people yelling and fucking screaming that all lives matter when we don't see little black girls on the fucking news like we see little fucking white girls in Portugal getting fucking kidnapped. I don't see a little black girl from the town next door all over the fucking news trying to find her. But I'm still watching fucking 8-year documentaries on a fucking white girl that got kidnapped in fucking Portugal? Are you fucking kidding me? And you're gonna fucking tell me that all lives matter? No, all lives matter if you look the part. Oh, but white people get killed too. White people account for 63 fucking % of the goddamn population in the U.S. But yet 500 fucking black people get killed by the fucking cops in this fucking year alone, and they only make up 13% of the fucking population. They are systematically trying to kill fucking black people, whether it be by the hands of fucking police or pitting them in such dire fucking poverty that they're killing each other for fucking resources. This is a systematic elimination of a fucking race. And just because it's not happening as quickly as Hitler did it doesn't make it any fucking less wrong. Doesn't make it any less fucking systematic. You fucking kill people when you put them in cycles of poverty that they can't fucking get out of. That you put them in neighborhoods with no fucking jobs and no fucking education, that they have to sit there and sell drugs and be confronted by the cops just to put fucking food on their kid's table. You're gonna fucking chastise somebody for stealing to sell something for their fucking kid to eat, but you don't have a fucking job for him? You're gonna tell a fucking mother to get off welfare, but you don't have a fucking job for her? Fuck you.
Well, no, she's supposed to pull herself up by her bootstraps. Come on.
Don't fucking tell me all
This
lives
is
matter
Trump's
until
America.
you're ready. Don't fucking tell me all lives matter until you are ready to put your ass on the line for every fucking life that is out there. Until then, black fucking lives matter. All lives matter is like saying everyone's sitting at the fucking table and Bob doesn't have a plate of food. And somebody turns around and says Bob deserves to eat. But somebody else turns around and says everyone deserves to eat. Y'all got fucking food. Everyone is fucking eating but fucking Bob. Every fucking person and every fucking white person in this country compared to black people, y'all fucking eating. Y'all are eating. And just because your fucking plate on your fucking table may not be individually filled, doesn't mean that you don't have 10 times the more resources and fucking chances to go out there and make sure you got food on that fucking plate over a black person. Ain't nobody fucking standing up. All lives matter, yes, all lives matter. But all lives mattering is not the fucking point right now. We are not systematically killing white people. We are not systematically oppressing fucking white people. It's black people that we are doing this to.
Anybody
and
who
where the
isn't
fuck
white.
is Hillary Clinton? Hillary Clinton gonna talk about Black Lives Matter now?
Yeah, her husband's fucking presidency is part of the problem.
You know what? Because you could sit there and say that's a husband. Husband and wife's gonna have different
No,
opinions.
she was
Fine.
tied to it.
Fine. You could say
I
a
don't give a
husband and
fuck.
wife have a different opinion, whatever. But now 6 fucking months ago when a Black Lives Matter fucking member walked into her fundraiser that they paid to attend and started asking her about the Black Lives Matter movement, she had them removed and then turned around and said, let's get back to the real issues.
I saw
But
that
you're gonna
video.
you're gonna sit there and put 2 dead man's fucking names in your mouth? When you threw out the cause? Pandering. Put that in your fucking purse with your hot sauce and your Domino's, bitch. Because all you fucking doing is pandering. I'm fucking done with this shit. I'm fucking done with this shit. If you can't fucking understand that white privilege is a systematic fucking problem. Do you know what white privilege is? Is opening your fucking history book and seeing that your race won. That's white privilege.
Is knowing that
Opening up your history book and seeing the fucking people that murdered and slaughtered natives are fucking heroes. That's white privilege. White privilege is opening your fucking history books and really fucking believing that everything is equal since the fucking civil rights movement. And yes, things have come a long way from the civil rights movement, I will say that. But it ain't where it fucking needs to be. This is 2016, this is 50 fucking years later. You got men being gunned down in the street for being fucking black. But y'all want to fucking sit here and hold hands and shit and link up arms talking about, fucking kumbaya and all this other bullshit.
Because it makes them feel good.
Because
Makes
it
them
makes
feel
you
like they
feel
don't have
good.
that privilege.
It makes you fucking feel good. But you'll go home and not do a fucking thing with that voice for being white to use your privilege to change some shit. Now, here's another one I can't stand. Comply and you won't die.
Yeah, bullshit.
You know what that brings me back to? When they told the Jews to comply and get in the ghettos and they won't die. When they told the Jews to get in the fucking cattle cars and comply. Wear the fucking star and comply. And don't die. Now people that follow this comply, don't die, don't resist bullshit. Especially the ones that say, I'm not racist, I got black friends.
I love those.
If a child of one of your black friends was killed the very fucking same way these 2 men were killed. And you know what? We're going to censor this. If one of your friend's children were killed the way Alton Sterling was, because there was a struggle there, and people are arguing that he resisted, can you really look your friend in the face and tell them that if their child complied, they wouldn't be dead? Would you have the fucking balls to do that shit? Would you have the fucking balls to look at a grieving mother and father and say, in their face and say, well, if your child didn't resist, he wouldn't be dead. If he complied, he wouldn't have died. You got the balls to do that shit? Oh, let me guess, you got the same fucking balls to wake up black and American water too, don't you? Don't you? Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is what a lot of fucking people don't get. The comply or die fucking shit rode high with the fucking Nazis and the Jews. And when they got the Jews to comply, what did they do? They came after the gypsies. Came after the gays. Came after the philosophers. So even if every fucking black person in this country complied so that they wouldn't die, who the fuck do you think's gonna be the next target? We don't fucking do something now. Black people only make up 12% of the fucking population. We don't fucking do something about cops killing black people and the systematic fucking oppression of black people. There's not gonna be black people left to kill. So who do you think they move on to next? Oh, that's right, the Mexicans, the Spanish people. But we're gonna signify
they'll
Mexicans
go with the Asians first
because
because
in this
the
context,
Mexicans.
everyone's Mexican. No.
Where are you
we
from?
like our Asians here because they make our TVs and our cars. We like the Asians here.
Yeah, but Mexicans do your gardens.
Yeah, but Mexicans are the illegals. So for sake of rambling fucking inbred rednecks that listen to our fucking podcast, we're just gonna lump them into fucking Mexicans for you to make it fucking easier, okay? So they go after them.
Editor's note: we don't think our listeners are inbred fucking rednecks.
No, and if you are, shut the fucking podcast off. You know, you fucking agree with what I'm saying because I really don't fucking give a shit. I don't fucking care. Ooh, one fucking listener because she made me ass hurt. The fuck out of here. Anyway. And then they start coming for Hispanics, which is about 17% of the population. Okay, now they're dead. And they keep mowing over person after person after person. And what happens when they come to you and tell you to comply or die? Now, on the other hand of the comply or die argument, here we have, now I'm a proud fucking gun owner. And I do not believe that banning guns is the answer. I do believe that if people want to kill, they're going to find a way.
That's a beautiful segue.
We are, isn't that awesome? and we have witnessed this in my country lately to where it hasn't been guns. It's been pressure cookers. It's been U-Haul trucks. It's been common items that people can buy at Home Depot and build on their kitchen tables. We can also relive this with England and London when back in the 60s and 70s with the IRA. I am a proud gun owner. I'm a responsible gun owner. My child has no idea what my gun even looks like. He has no idea what a gun does. He's never seen it. He has no way to access it.
Pew pew.
You got these same fucking people that talk about comply or die, right? But these are the same fucking people that say that they're going to take their guns from their cold dead hands. So how you gonna sit here and tell a black man to comply or die when you're sitting there straight up fucking telling people that if they come take my guns, I'm not complying? But yet, get pissed off that they shot up fucking white dudes who broke into a fucking federal wildlife preserve, wouldn't give up their guns, wouldn't fucking surrender, would not comply, get ass hurt that they're fighting for their land. When they died, when they didn't comply. You sitting here fucking telling me right now that if somebody from the government tells you, hey, we're banning guns tomorrow, give up your shit. It's completely okay for you to die because you didn't comply. How's that white privilege working for you? And it's okay for you. It's considered a stand and a revolution for you not to comply for your constitutional amendment. But it's not okay for a black man to resist for his constitutional amendment that all men are created equal. It's okay for him to die. I want fucking feedback. Let's see how many motherfuckers want to wake up black in America tomorrow.
Let's do it.
You answer me why it's okay for you not to comply and be expected to live, and it's called a revolution for you. But when a black man does it, he deserves death. You tell me how many fucking white people out there tonight are sitting down with their sons and telling them to keep their fucking hands up if they call the cops if they're a victim of violence. You let me fucking know. I'd love to hear this shit. Fucking holla at me, bitch. Holla at a bitch. Cause this bitch ain't getting it.
Before we move into our little dissection of a creationist bullshit argument, we did have one other thing that we wanted to cover, and that was the whole notion of gun bans bullshit. Now, Jen, I shared this article. Oh, what's going on down there? I hear the police.
Who knows? The power's been going on and off. People kind of get crazy when that shit happens out here, so the cops be coming.
Oh, cool.
It's all good. We're
Awesome.
all good. We're all good. Everybody's fine. We're good.
Good times. All right. So, for those of our listeners who aren't familiar with Dogma Debate, it is run by David Smalley. He's an atheist activist. He, like I said, he runs Dogma Debate. He runs, I have no idea what the hell the group is called now. It's a secular media group or something like that. And recently he's posted a couple of articles. Some were better than others. And the one that we're going to highlight is the one he wrote called Why Gun Nuts Lie. I know from experience. Right off the bat, he lets us know, he's from Texas, he's a gun owner, he has a concealed handgun license, and he's taught his kid about firearms.
See, I haven't gotten to that point yet because I think my son's too young to really grasp. My son's at the point now where I look at him and I'm like, don't touch that, and he literally looks at me and goes, touch it. So I don't think this would be the best point in his life to teach him about firearms.
But Jen, that's called responsible parenting.
I don't think this is the right point in his cognitive development to be teaching him about guns.
So, while we don't want to waste too much more time, or we don't want to take too much more time on this subject, what we're going to do...
we do. We want to take all of your fucking time. We want to be all about your life, bitch.
I just want to focus on the crux of Smalley's argument here, because it's a beautiful article. I'm going to tag it in the show notes. I really want everybody to read it, and I want to know everybody's thoughts on it. Feel free to comment. Apparently he's had thousands of comments. Yeah, as a matter of fact, as of this view of the webpage, I am seeing that there are 4,551 comments.
Wow, holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, it started a shitstorm. But anyways, the main thing that he focused on is he wants guns to be treated more like cars, with mandatory licenses, license renewals, mandatory training, mandatory insurance, operating laws, operating age limits, restrict some models. Now, just to expand on that, just to make sure that we're on the same page, he discusses the fact that, you probably don't need an AR-15. Because if you Google...
No, that's not what he's saying. He's I think he was more saying that, we're talking like M16 full auto military.
Nobody needs a full automatic.
Right, AR-15s are not.
If you try to look up a video of somebody, saving a family with a fully automatic weapon, you're not going to find it. But
no. What he was saying was that people are constantly saying, for defense. And I don't carry it for defense. It's kind of an insurance of just in case shit. I don't carry it for. I don't have it in my home for defense. It's a just in case argument. But what he's saying is that we have these yippee-ki-yay kind of fantasies where you're gonna save your entire family from a fucking gang from the purge with your fucking AR-15, and that shit just doesn't happen. You don't sit there and pull out a fucking AR-15 and mow down 14 fucking people that are coming to your door. That shit just doesn't happen. But we've in the culture that we live in America, it's kind of this dream hero fantasy, and that shit just doesn't fucking happen.
Okay, so on top of that, he also says require safety inspections, mandatory registration, and background checks. And my understanding on the way gun laws operate in the States is that, if you buy it directly from a gun store, you have to provide a license, do a little bit of a background check. But if you're at a gun show, you don't need to provide those things. You can just buy a handgun and walk out of there with it.
Well, it's now, mainly between private sellers too, like somebody who owns the weapon selling it to another civilian.
The friend of mine who has taught me a lot about guns, taught me to respect guns, took me to. We had a firearms show. We actually had a little firearms show here, and we went, and it was cool. saw some really neat things. But in order for him to buy ammunition that actually could not be fired, because you legally can't own the weapons to fire that specific type of ammunition, he had to provide his possession and acquisitions license. He had to provide that. The guy had to run it, had to get a copy of it so he could run it, in order for my friend to buy 5 glued bullets on the off chance that he tried to find some way to use them. But I also want to highlight something, a big difference that I noticed in
You're kind
some
of breaking up here, so I'm trying to catch what I can catch.
Okay. So just a difference that I've noticed in the way things operate in the States versus here in Canada.
There you
go. If I go to a gun range in Canada, which I have on several occasions, if they say, does anybody here have their firearms license? Nobody does. Okay, when was the last time you used a firearm? Oh, it's been a year. Okay, I think it's 6 months or more. They sit you down in an office and go through gun safety with you. They say, this is the safety, this is the trigger,
No,
this is the slide, etc., etc.
That just does not happen here. Yeah.
Well, hang on. And they go through all the safety regulations. They say, this is how you load a clip. You take it, like, you hold the clip like this in your hand, you put the bullet in, you use your thumb like this, etc., etc. They get fairly detailed in how to properly handle a firearm. They say you will be loading all your own clips. However, if you have a jam, place your firearm on the stand in front of you, step back, raise your hand, and the range officer will come
and
unjam it and fix it for you. No harm, no foul. All the standard gun range rules apply. If anybody has to go down range, all people have to place their firearms down, or in the safe position, down on their stands in front of them, and they have to step out of the booth before the person can go back there. Now, what I noticed in the States, because when I went to Vegas a couple of years ago, it was right after this friend's birthday, and his girlfriend, she got him a package to go to a gun range. We're not breaking up, Jen. So she got him to this package at a gun range. Well, we went. I bought my own package. The only time we were allowed to handle the firearm was to shoot. Oh shit! You know what? I gotta backtrack a little, because another major safety rule that they harp on, and I really wanted to make sure that I highlighted this, is that they make sure that the only time your finger is supposed to be on the trigger is when you intend to pull it. If you're not going to pull it, get your finger the fuck away from that trigger. Put it along the slide.
Amen.
So back to my time in Vegas. The only time we were allowed to handle the firearm is when we were shooting it. We weren't allowed to load it. We weren't given any other instructions. Don't get me wrong, it was cool. Got to fire off, some fully automatic weapons. I like the AR-15.
No, you were not able to fire a fully automatic weapon. Fully automatic weapons are illegal in the States. You were able to fire a semi-automatic weapon.
Okay, sorry, it was a semi-automatic. I can't remember the name of the gun. It's one of those belt-fed guns. And he wasn't allowed to fire more than 3 at a time.
That's a semi-burst shot.
And he showed all his licenses, all his accreditation. He himself worked as a range officer, but they still would not let him load the firearms. And I think that was a big that really shocked me. That really bothered me because of how gung-ho the States are. Or anyway, we hear the States being about their guns. Know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And when I see what David Smalley is saying, as I'm sitting here and I'm coming in as somebody who, I was educated on these. Anytime I go there, I expect to be refreshed. I see no problem with making sure that people have to have licenses in order to have a gun, to make sure those licenses expire, that you have to be properly trained in order to be licensed, that you have to be insured in case there's an incident with your gun. If you can drive a car faster than 17 miles an hour or 17 kilometers an hour, you're more dangerous than a bullet. I think that's perfectly fair. Operating laws, age limits. I do not think children under 5 should really be using firearms because they don't understand it. The restriction of automatic weapons, all for it. Safety inspections, I think that should go without saying, because unless you're a gunsmith, you might miss something when you're
Right.
cleaning it. Registration
Which
for all
can
firearms.
cause your firearm to malfunction.
Yeah, and background checks. Why would you want
Okay,
somebody
here's how it goes here in Tennessee. Now, I've never tried to buy a gun in any other state, so I can't really comment on that. But Tennessee, and Kentucky too is the same, because I've seen guys actually purchase them with their military IDs.
Mm-hmm.
You walk in, you put your license on the counter, you say, I want that gun. You fill out a piece of paper with your social on it. They make a 5-minute phone call, you check out clear, and you walk out with a gun.
Fantastic.
And you walk out with a gun. You can fucking take care of this shit in a half an hour. I'm pro gun ownership. I will make that clear now. I am pro gun ownership with restrictions. I believe in licensing. I believe in training. I believe in licensing that expires. I take it a little bit further though. I believe that parents who leave their guns in any way accessible to their children commit a crime with that gun, should be prosecuted. Parents of children that shoot up fucking schools because they got their hands on their parents' weapons should be at minimum charged with negligent homicide. Parents of fucking toddlers that get their fucking hands on weapons and blow their fucking heads off should be charged at minimum with negligent homicide and child neglect. We have to start punishing irresponsible gun owners. We have to start.
And that just fucking makes sense.
If your gun is stolen or taken and used in a commission of a crime and you have not reported that weapon stolen or lost, you go down in some which way, shape, or form for being responsible for that crime. Say somebody breaks into your house, steals your gun, or robs you, steals your gun, whatever. And that gun is used in the homicide of somebody else, or an assault, or a robbery, whatever. And you did not report that gun lost or stolen, you should be on the hook for being an irresponsible fucking gun owner. Because how the fuck do I know if you turn around and say, oh, that shit was stolen, oh, I lost that shit, but you never reported it, so how the fuck do I know you wasn't the one that just fucking robbed me?
How do we know you're not trying to cover your ass?
Exactly. I don't believe in free range private sale, to where you could just sell your gun to somebody else.
No, that's
believe
fucking
that.
sketchy.
I don't believe in that. I believe that there needs to be, you have a firearm and you want to sell it to a friend of yours, that you need to go through the same background check process, which I think needs to be more stringent. But when you do turn that firearm over to someone else, you have a 60 to 90 day grace period to get your name off of that weapon and put it in theirs. And if it does not fucking happen, then you go to jail. We have the same fucking laws for cars here. You have to transfer ownership responsibility in a certain amount of time, or you go to fucking jail. Why the fuck are we not doing this with guns?
That makes no sense.
And okay, you want to talk about gun shows and how much it would flood the 800 numbers for the background checks. Fine. All right. Let's take some of these out of work veterans that we got, right? That we know qualify for classified security clearances, high-end security clearances, shit like that.
Yeah.
Let's start putting them at the gun shows with computers, because they have the security clearance. And when you go to buy a fucking weapon, before you get that transfer of a weapon, you have to get fucking processed through them right there at the gun show with their computer. Let's open up the fucking job market. Let's open up the fucking job market. Let's do it. They already have the fucking clearance. Classified clearances can range anywhere from 5 to 10 years. They already got the fucking clearance. Let's put them to work. Let's give them a fucking skill. Let's make them fucking genius workers.
They care so much about their veterans. They should. They should think that's a great idea.
And you know what's cracking me up right now?
Everything?
The man that shot the Dallas police officers was a black veteran. Watching the conservatives lose their fucking minds right now because they don't know what to do. They're like,
He's a veteran. He's black.
He legally
gun
owned
rich,
his
shit.
right. He legally owned his guns and he served his country. But fuck, he was black and he shot cops. It's like watching them fucking spin spiral. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing watching them try to pick their brain matter up.
And they're trying to tie him to the Black Lives Matter movement, but he never actively participated in the Black Lives Matter movement.
Not.
And it's like, you know what? There's gonna be fucking extremists on either side. There are going to be black people that are all about fucking killing cops and killing white people, but there's also fucking cops that are out there saying to fucking kill everyone. There's also fucking cops out there that literally tweet on Twitter to go kill some niggers. There was a cop in Nashville who's just been decommissioned because he quote unquote would have put 5 in Alton Sterling.
Great.
Right. It's like, you know, there are good Muslim people out there, and then there's fucking ISIS.
Fucking ISIS.
You know, there's good Christians out there, and then there's the fucking Westboro Baptist Church.
No, come on. That's like saying there are happy people and then there are clowns. Come on.
Okay, fine. There are good Christians out there, and then there are people that blow up abortion clinics.
Kim Davis.
There are people that literally blow up fucking abortion clinics. So, there are going to be extremists on either side.
We'll call it a draw.
But if you don't want the entire police force being represented by someone that says he's going to go out and kill him some niggers, then you can't sit here and put the entire Black Lives Matter movement on another fucking extremist. You want to sit here and say, not all Muslims, not all Christians, then not all fucking black people too. You want to talk about all lives matter, then let's get fucking all inclusive here. You want to talk about all lives matter. Not just when it's convenient for your cause. And yes, white privilege does exist. I'm sorry that you have to acknowledge it because it takes you out of your fucking comfort zone. And you have to admit that you were fucking wrong for taking advantage of white privilege and doing shit about it. That you're now uncomfortable because you are being seen as benefiting. And you can't play the fucking victim anymore. That's what it is. Oh, white privilege doesn't exist. No, it doesn't exist to you because you don't want to admit that you can no longer be the victim. And you know what, white people, man, fucking white people. I'm fucking tired of fucking white people, man. Y'all gonna fucking sit there and talk about white people get killed too, and blah, 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 and this and that, and more white people die at the hands of cops, yeah, because they make up 63% of the fucking population. But anyway, for the first time in history, it's okay that you're not the majority. It's okay. White people have been the majority throughout every fucking period of recorded history. Literally. Y'all were the fucking majority in the Middle East when you moved out of Africa. Y'all were the fucking majority in Europe when you started taking over that shit. Y'all came over here, made yourself the majority over fucking Native Americans. It's okay not to be the majority for once in human fucking history. It's okay.
Have white people ever actually been the majority?
The minority?
Majority.
Yeah. White people are the majority
Really?
all the fucking time.
No, I mean like on the grand scheme of things.
Like numbers wise? I don't know. Because there's so many different ethnicities and races on the planet that I don't know if they can accurately tally that.
Damn,
you know
Google,
what I mean?
you racist.
Because like in America they'll say they're white, but then if you get into like no, but like if you get into like you get into the EU and you start asking people shit, they'll say they're like from a specific country. You know what I mean? You know it's
I'm pulling up numbers.
Anyway, but white people, it's okay for you not. Oh, we're pulling up numbers. It's okay for you not to be the majority narrative. It's okay for you to not be the headliner in history for once. We all can't be
Holy
fucking
shit.
LeBron James all the time.
Fucking Wikipedia,
Sometimes
man.
we gotta step back for Stephen Curry.
Let's see. I'm just trying to. Damn it.
What?
They're not giving me any by race. I'm trying, but it's like Google's racist as fuck.
Get a world demographic number. I think it's kind of hard to do.
Race isn't even skin color. Race is the shape of your face.
I don't think that race is so, and I could be wrong. Well, I mean, I could be wrong in this, but I think demographics are kind of judged differently and classified differently in different parts of the world. You know what I mean?
Holy shit.
You know what I mean? Like, Australians are kind of like, I'm Australian, and then there's, I'm Aboriginal, you know, it's different. But if white people, it's okay not to be the fucking main center stage once in history. It's alright. It's alright. It's cool. It's cool. You know what? Because y'all just dominate shit anyway, so you're gonna get it back eventually. But it's okay to not fucking be the dominant middle fucking ring here. One time in fucking history. Once. That's all I'm asking. One time.
And now for something completely different.
So now we're gonna move on. We've dedicated a full hour by now. Of course, that's before editing. Ha ha ha. To the that topic. So now we're gonna kind of move on to something a little more lighthearted that I think is still gonna make Jen's ears bleed. As I think I said last time, I brought a creation moments little leaflet to the table here. One of the clients at my gym, he's a Christian, and he's very happy to. It's just this little pamphlet that he likes to give out about proclaiming evidence for truth, this week's creation moment, etc., etc. Well, this week's happens to be an open and shut case for creation, and it's all about clams. So the open and shut case is a little pun, ha ha ha. So I'll read so we'll do our best to get through this. So it opens up with Genesis 6:17, and behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth, to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. So we're gonna rule out the fact that this is,
we're totally
condoning genocide and infanticide. Number one, we're gonna totally forget that this is all about killing everything else, and we're just gonna focus on, the flood and how it pertains to evolution. Sorry, hang on. I think I need a little more alcohol in my system. 1 second. Oh, I got my eyes. Awesome. Okay. So, according to Creation Moments, quote, evolutionists hate the very idea of the worldwide flood because they know that such a catastrophe would cause the Earth to appear to be much older than it truly is. And even they know that without those long ages of time, evolution becomes an impossibility. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. We're going to break this down paragraph by paragraph. Okay, so evolutionists, we hate the idea of a global flood. No, we don't. That's fucking just not true. Because such a catastrophe would cause the Earth to appear much older than it truly is. How? We have things like carbon dating, which can tell us how old things are. Yeah, but apparently this flood would mess with these things. And the long ages of time being required for evolution. Well, we kind of have this idea that the Earth is, I don't know, what, over 4 billion years old. Yeah, I think we've got enough time. Paragraph 2, quote. Did clams, like many other creatures,
it's in the billions.
have much to tell us about the flood of Noah's time. Clams are known as bivalve mollusks. They have 2 valves that are hinged together, and they can close their shells very quickly to protect themselves from predators. When a clam dies of natural causes, the clam releases its grip on its shell, and it opens within a matter of hours. But if buried, clamshell is found shut tight. It shows that the clam was buried suddenly.
Right.
Yeah, which I don't know.
Because of the weight on the clamshell,
I think this is all just kind of general true
when it loses
or
its muscle retention.
True
but okay,
enough
no, we're just
unless you're pedantic and you're a marine biologist, you won't get too deep into this. Well, we're gonna get into this in the next paragraph.
But what does a
quote? We mention this because fossil clam graveyards are found all over the world, containing millions of clams with their shells shut tight. This speaks to us of a catastrophe that buried millions of clams very quickly, In other words, the worldwide flood of Noah's time. Since these fossil clam beds are found
Okay.
all over the world and are often high above their natural habitat, it can only mean that the biblical worldwide flood is a fact of history. End quote. Okay, so that's the end of paragraph 3, and now I'm...
Or, a fucking asteroid strike that literally uprooted
Or
the entire fucking ocean floor and caused it to violently come down on itself.
when I was studying Darwinism, I studied it in a couple of different classes. When we studied Darwin's theory, we broke it down in a couple of different ways in a couple of different classes. In evolutionary psychology, my teacher had. Is that your cat coughing? Because it sounds like she's harking up a hairball, and that's gross.
No, it's her chasing a fucking hair tie under a piece of
Okay,
cardboard.
cool.
No, she's pushing a flat cardboard box across the floor.
We were going through my evolutionary
with
psychology
the hair
class.
tie underneath
We did a small little assignment on 9 ideas that influenced Darwin's thought. The one that I happen to be a part of pertains to this paragraph. It's the idea of catastrophism. Is that because of the chaotic nature of, or I'm kind of applying current knowledge, because of the chaotic nature of weather systems and
the entire fucking
the world
solar system we live in,
there will
plate tectonics.
and plate tectonics, there will be big catastrophes that happen. There will be incidents that isolate one a species, that it will split a species in two. There's that river that in Africa that they find chimps to the north of and bonobos to the south of, because we know how closely related they are.
Right.
There's one geological catastrophe that kind of it helps to create species, basically. So the reason I bring that up is to try to relate it to this. Well, if a catastrophe happened, such as an earthquake or something that forced these clams shut tight, because we're going to run with the second paragraph being true. We're full disclosure, we're going to run with that's true.
Or, like an asteroid impact. I mean, that's pretty fucking traumatic.
Or just any sort of mass change in that particular ecology. Now, because it doesn't say, how many there are or what geological age they appear to be from, it just says it had to be from the flood.
Or what regions of the world that they did appear in.
Okay, so I'm gonna read the last paragraph and then we'll just completely go to town on this. Quote, "Now, if the Bible is right about the worldwide flood, the Earth is much younger than it appears to be, so there simply isn't enough time for evolution to take place. Graveyards of closed clams have given us an open and shut case," there's that joke again, "for biblical creation." They made absolutely no argument in this entire thing.
Yeah, my head hurts.
All this is just a sticking our fingers in our ears, going la la la, and not actually.
I don't understand how a flood makes the Earth appear
they don't provide that.
Than what it is. Don't you think that it would wash? No, but don't you think it would wash away layers of sediment and shit to actually make the Earth appear younger than it is? I think that there may have been an actual flood in the region that these people had inhabited in, which was pretty much the region of Iraq between the Tigris and Euphrates River. And to them, it may have really looked like the entire world had flooded. And it may have really seemed that.
And then that would have explained why everything written down in the Bible that describes events only occurring within a 40-mile radius. I'm using hyperbole, obviously.
Right, and I mean, they didn't live in the world of media and and smartphones and everything else. So yeah, in there,
but
human communication wasn't this huge advanced thing at this point. So yeah, to them it would look like the entire fucking world was flooded.
But I want to go back to this because I had to get into just wanted to get the entire thing out of the way before I ripped this apart. So they don't talk about the geological era in which these are found, because if they were to talk about the fact that, well, according to science, it's a few 100 million years old, then it would disprove them, whatever. They don't talk about that. They don't. All they say is, oh no, all these clam beds found. Well, where's the evidence that they were all buried at the same time? And that's the one piece of evidence that they're really not providing here. I thought about inviting Chris Hanna to come talk about this, because I'm sure it would.
I mean, they can argue that
hurt him.
They found them within the same sedimentary rock period.
Some of them may be, Because some of them may have
But
all happened at the same time.
You don't understand that. No, but like sedimentary rock periods don't happen all at the same
some
time.
of them may have
Some of these
just
take millions of fucking years to fucking develop. So how do we know that? Okay, you find these clam beds in this one part of the world in this layer of sedimentary rock. How do you know that one fucking clam didn't die 2 fucking thousand years before another one did?
And you know, it's all it is just it. As with all creationist literature, which anybody who's following what's gone on with the Ark Encounter and Ken Ham,
Oh my god, do you know that they have fucking dinosaurs in the Ark that
yeah,
they built? Dinosaurs.
I'm
Dinosaurs.
gonna go back to him and name drop.
Yeah.
David Smalley
Yeah.
got invited by
Yeah.
Eric Hovind, who's another creationist nut job, to go into the Ark, and he's posting pictures. It's like, okay, well, what fucking happened to the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, was it 2 or was it 7 animals that hopped onto the Ark? But no, all this is just a simple, well, evolutionists don't like what we have to say, therefore they're wrong. And that's all this is.
No, evolutionists don't like what you have to say because it's not fucking true.
Well, no, I'm just the entire little reading, and if we get listener demand, I'll start posting more of these as I get them, because they're hilarious.
I'm surprised my mom is still in
My brain hurts. It's been quite a
Hopefully
heavy
my
episode.
fucking
I think it's about time that we let our listeners go.
American
We're
Dad or
saying good
some kind of
evening.
other like Family Guy.
Oh, you know what you should watch for American
Just
Dad?
to, like,
You could watch the
off.
end of the second season where Stan goes to turn in Jeff, and they meet Jeff's dad. Because watching Stan and Roger while Fry,
I love that episode.
Holy shit!
I love that episode where Roger actually starts floating away when he's not carrying the fucking bag. He's like, "No, I'm gonna float away," and here goes fucking Roger.
Oh
and he like drops the camera. Roger goes.
The best parts of that episode is when they're sitting there at the check stop, and oh, by the way, spoiler alert to anybody who doesn't watch fucking American Dad, is when they're sitting there at the check stop and Stan's trying to convince the officer that he's not high at his fucking tree, and Roger just sits there and goes, "He knows."
He knows with his bank account.
So funny story. So Wednesday happens to be discount Whopper night. Like instead of being like $8, they're $3. So Ashley and I will sometimes go to Burger King because fuck yeah, Whoppers.
Right.
Right?
Oh, God,
Isn't that awesome?
That program here.
And so, and because Thursday's kind of my one day of the week to sleep in because I don't have clients ridiculously early in the morning. The night before, I can enjoy a little green time with myself. And so Ashley happened to drive us there because I was not in a state to drive. And oh, I am fully aware. I also don't want to drive because I'm like, I just want to chill, man.
And I commend you for being a responsible person.
I'm just assuming you're naked and don't want me to see.
I have also completely disappeared off screen to everyone who can't watch us right now. He's probably like,
yeah, that's true.
I'm looking for something.
And anyway, so we're sitting at the drive-thru, and
no, I'm just
as Ashley's paying for the food and they're handing the bag and she hands it over to me, I catch the eye of the woman as she's handing Ashley the food, and I'm looking, and all I can think is, oh my god, she knows! She knows what I've done! So on that happy thought, I think it is high time that we, oh god, I said it again. I think it is time that we bid everybody adieu, that we let them go their separate ways, go get to their responsibilities. I don't know, I'd listen to it all day, every day. So, Jen, it's been a pleasure. Okay, well, thanks everybody for joining us. It has been an awesome show.
Good night. Yes. So.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
The Not Another Atheist podcast experience is run by Jen and Keith. If you wish to contact the hosts, please write to nehehp@gmail.com. They can be found at facebook.com/NotAnotherAtheistPodcast, or search Not Another Atheist Podcast on iTunes and Stitcher to subscribe and leave reviews.
I'm just gonna fuck it and do this. Alright, fuck it, let's do it. Let's do it. Fuck it, let's do it. Asswats.
She knows!
Oh my god.
So this wasn't the ideal way to spend a 30th episode, but does anybody have a 30th birthday?
Oh my god, is it 30th?
This is 30.
Get out, really? I totally was not aware of this until like...
I know. I was sitting there thinking about some way of introducing it, and I was like, you know what? This is going to be such an emotionally heavy episode.
Yeah. No, let's just fucking not do that.
Yeah.
We'll celebrate it next episode.
Yeah, we'll celebrate 31.
30. It'll be 30. It'll be 30 again.
It'll be 30 part duh. Get it? Because French Canadian. Haha.
I'm picking up my panties and I'm going home. Okay.